Hello, hello, and welcome back to the Pure Nintendo Podcast. This is your weekly dose of all things Nintendo. My name is Jemma, and this week I am fortunate enough to have my two excellent friends with me. First of all, we have Trev. Let's go first with you for once, since you were here last week. Welcome back, Trev.
Oh man, it throws me off. I'm
I
not used to
know,
being first.
keeping you guys on your toes.
Hi everyone.
Hi. And thank you for returning after a week off. Welcome back, Kirk.
You know, I was a little disappointed last week because I listened to the podcast and I knew that Trevor was there and not me because his icon was on the little screen on the YouTube channel. Completely
Yes.
spoiled it.
Yeah, true. Did I put the wrong one as the thumbnail, maybe? Oops. Anyway. Or do I normally do that? I can't remember now. Anyway, welcome back to both of you. We have a nice, healthy list of topics to discuss this week. Lots of news, lots of games that we're playing, sales to discuss. Gosh, there's a lot to go through, but it's all exciting and all fun, and I can't wait to talk about it all. So let's jump straight into it. And in the news, I wanted to start with Kirby and the Forgotten Land is out now, which is Nintendo's latest, I guess, first party release, if you can call it that. It's published by Nintendo at least. And it's obviously not a new game, but it's got new content. And I know Trev is a big fan of Kirby and the Forgotten Land. Wondering if you have managed to upgrade yet, get the DLC pack for the Switch 2 at all?
I have not yet,
Not
but
yet.
I
Planning
am
to?
a fan.
Yeah.
I am a fan. I mean, it was my game of the year, so the year it came out, and I'm not sure how it's gonna. It's tricky with these re-releases. Like, I wonder how we're gonna do it at the end of the year because, like, it's brand new for you,
Yes,
but
exactly.
for me, it's old ground, and it was great old ground, obviously, but
Mm-hmm.
um, yeah. Well, we'll think about that when the time comes, I guess.
Yeah, we'll have to make a decision because there'll be a few options. And I have it. I am playing it. I've only just started it, so as you said, it's completely new for me. I did play the demo back in 2022, so I have some familiarity with it, and of course, love the demo. Just never got around to the full game, so very happy to have the chance to do so now, as well as the extra content. And I mean, so far, I can say it just looks lovely. Like it looks, and it already did, right? It's not like it was a bad looking game, but geez, it looks nice. It looks really beautiful on the big screen. And of course, the music is fantastic. It's just so cute, and Kirby swallowing these giant things like witches' hats and cars, and it's just, I mean, it's pure joy, really. I'm just loving it so much. So yeah, looking forward to playing more of that one. I think there are new abilities in this as well. Do you recall, Trev, what they might be? It's okay if not.
I was actually going to ask you because I remember when they were showing, like, I think it was Treehouse footage,
Mhm.
and I'm like, boy, that looks new, but like, I couldn't tell. Like, is the new content like distinct, or is it like, are you able to pick out what's new and what's not as a new player?
Well, I
I'm just
think
wondering, like, if I was to
yeah.
get the DLC,
Mhm.
like, how it was incorporated into the. Is it its own thing? Is it incorporated in the main tale?
Kind of. I think this is what it is, and I'm only up to the first world, but there's these little star levels on the map, and I'm pretty sure they're new. So did you have, for example, how you float on your little star from level to level, right? To go to the tunnel level or whatever in the grassy planed area, like the overworld? You know what I'm talking about, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
haven't
Like
played it since it first came out, so it's been a few
true.
years.
It's been a few years. Well, there's these little they're kind of like broken stars, like not black stars, but they're like blue, kind of dark blue, and they look distorted. And they're sort of levels that appear randomly on the map as well. I think that's the new content. So far, they're kind of just challenges, but as I said, I'm only at early stages, first level, and I've come across 3 of those so far. I don't know about the new powers because I don't know which ones are new. I don't think I've come across any new ones yet, just because I'm so early into it. But he did eat a staircase, and I'm not sure if that's new, but I didn't know he was going to eat stairs. So,
No, I
that,
remember him doing that, but
okay, that seemed built into the level, so I feel like that was existing. But yeah, he's eaten stairs, a witch's hat, like a. There's one where he eats like I don't even know what it is, a big circle that you don't even move around in. You just use it to free a Waddle Dee, basically. That was kind of unique as well.
Mm.
So
I just remember it threw me off when I was looking at it because, like, I recognized the level, and all of a sudden it looked like it had like different camera angles from the same
Oh.
level, and I'm like, is this just
Ah,
expanding like the base levels, or is it? I got to look more into it, but
yeah,
yeah, I'll
yeah,
be
I've
upgrading it eventually.
yeah, I have heard that the new levels are somewhat remixes of existing levels. That's what I've seen online so far. So yeah, there might be some truth to that. It could be a mix of both. I'm really not entirely sure. Because I thought it was a new campaign. Like I thought from the menu I'd be able to just go straight to Starcross, whatever it is, right? And
Yeah,
choose. I thought Starcross World, yeah. So that doesn't seem to be the case. And I thought, well, maybe I need to finish the game or at least progress far enough that the Starcross World becomes available. And that could still be the case. But what I've read briefly is that there are levels dotted around, which I think is these star levels that I mentioned, and they're more or less challenges or remixes or something like that. But I could be wrong because I'm so early into it. So watch this space, and I'll delve further in and give an update. But yeah, um, so far it's certainly the base game is obviously there and enjoyable. Whether or not it's worth the upgrade, what is it, like $20? I think is it for the DLC? Is that right?
yeah.
Yeah. I will let you know. I will definitely let you know. Yeah. But the interesting thing is they released the rest of the tracks. The 91 tracks for Kirby and the Forgotten Land have now been added to, as in the musical, the soundtrack, have been added to Nintendo Music. So, last week we were talking about them synchronizing the music and the gaming. They've done it again, Nintendo. So that's interesting. Because the music is very lovely. Like there's a scene at the start, and it's kind of just part of the intro. I think you do the first world, or first level, I should say. And then I think it's when you first get a giant thing to swallow, being the car. And there's this scene where you're just driving across a bridge, and it's like there's seagulls in the background. And I'm assuming this was in the original game, but there's a song playing, and it's that kind of Japanese vocals, and it's just so cute. It's like the start of a movie, but it's so random.
Yeah, very
Yeah,
cinematic.
very cinematic. Yes, yeah, yeah, yeah. So it's certainly a lovely game. I guess if you haven't played the original, it would be easy to recommend. Like for me, this is an easy recommendation just because I hadn't played the original. So for me, this is perfect. And I think if you were thinking about playing it and you hadn't got around to it back in 2022 or since then, no reason not to play this one. If you are thinking about upgrading, yeah, still TBA as whether it's worth it. But I mean, $20 is not a whole lot. So yeah,
Did
I
we
just hope.
establish if Kirk played this? I can't remember.
I had thought not, but let's hear from Kirk. What did you think?
Well, what's the question? Have I played it, or
have
what
you
do I think?
have you played it? Sorry, have you played
Or will
it?
you play it if you haven't?
Yeah.
No, the Kirby games. I think I may have stated before. These are the kind of games that I play and enjoy when somebody else gets them and plays them and wants me to play them with them.
Hmm.
I wouldn't pick this game up on my own. But if any of my kids had it, then I would play along with them, like I did with Epic Yarn, which I
Hmm.
loved, absolutely loved. But
Yeah.
wouldn't have grabbed that on my own, so I would have missed it, and I'll probably end up missing this too.
Because this one does have the two-player co-op kind of uh, addition, which is awesome. And I'm assuming you would have used that, Trev, when you
I
played it.
did, yeah.
Yeah.
And then I played through it together.
Yeah. So I haven't tried it yet. I did try it with the demo with my son Hayden. He and I played the demo together, and we will definitely be playing this new one together. We just haven't yet. So I've just been playing the first few levels by myself. So yeah, I love that they have that because I think it's really um, it's a substantial co-op mode, right? Like you, as a Waddle Dee, can do pretty much everything Kirby can do. Maybe not swallow the giant things. I'm not sure actually. Can you swallow the giant things?
Um, Geez, I'm trying to remember. I don't think so.
But you can still get abilities, right? Like you can swallow the little sword dude and get the sword hat thing.
I don't remember feeling like dissatisfied when one was Kirby and one was not. So I'm
Yeah.
sure it was pretty. Uh, you know what? I'm just gonna have to replay it and get the DLC and just play through it again.
Yeah. Yes, exactly. Yes. Well, that's a big release for the week. So listeners, let us know if you're playing Kirby in the Forgotten Land and Star-Crossed Worlds. Anything else you guys wanted to mention about that one before we move on to some other news?
Just that the title's ridiculously long. I
It is
imagine
very long.
when you write the review, it's like review Kirby and the Forgotten Land, Nintendo Switch 2 edition, plus Starcross World. Like it's too many words.
That's classic Nintendo, isn't it? Honestly, yeah, it's a mouthful. Hence why I struggled to say it just before. I'm like, what is the subtitle? Star-crossed what?
Well, Kirby's good with dealing with mouthfuls. So
There you go. That's our that's our quote of the week. Thank you, Kirk. I mean, sorry, thank you, Trev. Sorry,
I was gonna say, what did Kirk do?
that's my blooper of the week.
She knows I write your better material.
Yes, indeed. Thank you for that. So let's move on to some other news. A few little tidbits. There was Gamescom happened recently, and there was some talk about Elden Ring Tarnished Edition, which is the Switch 2 version that's coming out. Meant to be sometime this year. 2025 is the release date. I just wanted to touch on this because it was talked about so much online, and I feel like it's maybe been exaggerated potentially, but people were saying it was playing terribly at Gamescom, as in on the Switch 2. Switch 2 couldn't handle it, blah, blah, blah. Particularly in handheld mode was what I was reading. I've seen some videos online, and I mean, it's hard to say when you're looking at a video of someone playing, but it looked fine to me. So, and plus, I mean, this isn't the final game, right? So I guess I'm not defending Elden Ring. I don't even really know Elden Ring at all. I know it's a 2022 game from other consoles. I think it was written by George R. Martin, whatever his name is, the Game of Thrones dude. Don't know a whole lot more than that, except that it's a big game and it's nice that it's coming to Switch too. Like that's a cool thing. It's happening. Wondering what your guys' thoughts were on that whole issue. Do you think people were just trying to kind of, I don't know, clickbait kind of situation, or were they being super negative for some reason? What do you reckon? Anyone got an opinion on that? Did you see this? Either one of you? Did you see the kind of talk in the last week or so?
I did.
Yeah, what did you think about that?
Well, I'm of two minds.
Mhm.
Um, if you got more than one outlet saying it runs bad,
Mhm.
and Namco Bandai themselves weren't like allowing footage to be recorded, it does make
Mm.
you question it.
Mhm.
But at the same time, I was sort of like you. I'm like, is this exaggerated?
Mm.
First of all, in handheld mode, it's not going to run as good as it does docked anyway.
Mhm.
So let's just get that out of the way. But I mean, there's other reasons they might not let something be recorded. I'm not sure what footage you saw, if people are sneaking it or
Yeah, well, that's the thing. I saw
um,
that too. They weren't allowed to, but so how were they posting it?
I don't know. I do think a lot of the technical ends, in my opinion, they matter less to me, but I think some people really fixate on it.
Mhm.
So it's like, oh, it dropped from 60 to 59 right here. Did you see that? Like, and I know this isn't running at 60 frames in handheld mode, but uh, yeah, I guess I would need to learn more. But
Mm.
outlets are going to do what they do to get clicks, not us. I think
Mhm.
we're a little more. Um, we don't kind of go into clickbait like you said, but a
Yeah.
lot of a lot of outlets do, and they know they're going to get engagement, and people are going to be, the frame rate purists are going to rip it apart, and then others are going to be like, what does it matter? And I don't know.
Yeah, that's really good points. I agree with all of that. Thank you, Trev. Kirk, did you have any thoughts on that?
Just kind of echoing what Trev said, I think the type of players who are really big fans of Elden Ring are the type of people who are going to really care a lot about frame rate. So, like he said, the slightest drop and they're just going to jump all over it, because people also have always used that to attack Nintendo
Mhm.
devices,
Yeah.
the power that they have. And, now we've got a fairly powerful system. I mean, it's no PS5 or anything like that, but if they can still use that argument, they're going to continue to use that argument where they can, because it's easy to do so. So,
Mm. Yeah,
yeah,
that's it. Mm.
the
Yeah.
game's not out yet. It's not an official review. So, anything that people are seeing or playing or saying, I really couldn't care less about.
I think that's a good attitude. Yeah, I was a bit the same, and I just popped it on because I just kept seeing it. Even yesterday, like this was kind of a week old now. This news, but it was still coming up in my feed. I'm like, people are still talking about this. Like, come on, right? I think you're right. People use frame rate as an excuse to attack Nintendo quite often, and it's hard because, like I said, when you're watching a video of someone playing, you're already getting a less quality view and you're not seeing it for yourself and you're not playing it for yourself. The footage I saw, like I said, it seemed fine. Obviously, it's different if you're playing it. There's a difference between a drop in frame rate and something being unplayable, which I think is a distinction that a lot of people aren't making because some people are calling it unplayable or whatever the word
Yeah,
is.
it's
Yeah.
hyperbole.
Yeah, exactly.
And you know
And
what? Kirk made a good point too about, it's not out yet. And
mm,
traditionally, if you look at, game shows through the years, whether it's Gamescom or PAX or E3, a lot of early builds have been rough. And then they
mhm.
come out and they're polished up and they run great. So you can't, I mean, you can't be making judgments on an unfinished port.
Yeah, yeah. So it will be very interesting to see what happens next. Like if it's still coming out this year, if they've got more work to do on it, if they were already planning to do, like they've got time to do patches and things. So yeah, listeners, let us know your thoughts on that. Elden Ring Tarnished Edition. What you think about all that nonsense?
I do think it's funny. It's called the Tarnished
I
Edition.
know, I know.
Is that some kind of slight on the
Yeah,
Nintendo already, or does that have something to do with the game?
I don't know. I thought that
Truth
was
in
odd also.
advertising, maybe.
Yeah. It is strange. It is very strange. Yeah, we'll see how that pans out, but I think I don't know. I don't know if it's gonna be at PAX, for example. If I get a chance to play it, of course, I'll talk about it there. Yeah, we'll see, but until then, we just have to rely on the official source, I guess, and then when we can actually play it ourselves or see a real trailer that's actual footage, then that can help us decide as well. But yeah, interesting. Not a game that either of you are interested in, I'm guessing then, based on what you're saying to me, or maybe because it's not been on Nintendo before, so maybe it's not something you've considered. But is it something that you would consider playing on the Switch too?
I don't think I would, but I know that my son Sam is looking forward to it. I think he's played it on the
Mm,
PC, so
okay,
maybe he's not going to play it, but he's happy to see that it's being released.
cool. Yeah, Trev.
Probably not for me,
Yeah,
but
okay.
I'm
Yeah,
sure it'll find its audience because there's a
yeah.
lot of a lot of gamers who are really are Nintendo only gamers, so
Hmm.
they would have missed this a few years ago, and now that it's arriving, it's like you with Kirby. It's going to be a brand new game for them,
Yeah,
and they'll
exactly.
play it and enjoy it. I'm sure.
Yeah, yeah. I think it's great that it's coming to Switch too. So yeah, hopefully it kind of hits the mark there when it is released. The next news, and not to be negative today, okay, this is another kind of negative piece of news about game key cards because there was news that in Japan they're not considered preservable by this group that I guess collects and preserves things like games. It's called the Japan's National Diet Library, which is a really strange name, but we could call it the Preservation Library, I guess. And they preserve these kinds of things, I guess, for historical reasons. But they've just said, and this is a week or so ago, they've just said that game key cards are not considered preservable, which isn't really a surprise. But I guess it's nice, to hear that officially from a group that kind of collects these things or preserves these things and whether that makes a difference to games going forward, just because there has been so much controversy around game key cards. Um, yeah, I don't know what you guys thought about that. I mean, like I said, I don't think it's a surprise, but does that mean, because we've talked about having, like, for example, Trev, we talked about retro games and playing something like the 3DS or DS or Game Boy, anything that has a cartridge.
Mm.
It's easy to play. We don't need the internet for that. We can just pop a cartridge in to any old system and play it. And in 10, 20 years' time, whatever, when the Switch 2 is not connected to online services anymore, these GameKey cards won't be playable, right? So I don't know. What do you think? Any opinions on that? Or just meh. It is what it is.
I'm surprised they don't already have a way to catalog digital games.
That's a good
Completely
question.
separate of the game key cards, because a lot of games are only released digitally, so they don't get the
Mm.
preservation. But also on the other hand, I can't think of a Western company who's ever released a game and has been really happy that one day it could get in the Library of Congress.
Yeah.
So I,
Yeah.
I don't think that it's going to change any developers or publishers' mind that it can't be preserved. I think this is just another bullet in the belt of those of us who wish that they would actually release physical media.
Yeah, yeah, that's a really good point. And it is comparable to that Library of Congress, like you said. And this diet, I don't know why it's called diet, must mean something different in Japan. The National Diet Library has been collecting physical video games since October 2000. So it's not even, I guess they don't even have anything prior to that in this particular collection, at least. But it's not just games, they also collect books and newspapers, music, maps. Pretty much, they have over 44 million items. It's the eighth biggest library in the world. So interesting. Maybe there's in the seven bigger libraries, they do have more like dating further back, or maybe they do have a way to do digital, for example, like you said, Kirk. I don't know, because that's a really good question. What happens, like the eShop went down on the 3DS and Wii U. What happened to those games? Are they stored somewhere offline? Like, what's the deal with that?
I
I
mean,
don't
they
know.
have to be a bit because you can re-download them if you had them. You can't buy them now,
Yeah, true.
but
Yeah.
you could still re-download them. I
Mhm.
would be more concerned rather than archiving digital games. Like you got decades of physical games that you could still add to that library. What about the whole 16-bit or 8-bit or
Yeah. Yeah.
like? But it makes sense to me that they wouldn't include these, and I think time will tell if we're still so early in the Switch 2 life. We don't really
Mm.
know. Our game key card's going to be like a footnote from the Switch 2
Mm.
launch window, and we'll look back years from now and be like, "Remember when they tried that? It didn't work." Or,
Yeah.
you know, are the ones like us that are rejecting them, are we the vocal minority? And years from
Mm.
now, are they going to be the norm alongside physical? Who knows, really, at
Yeah.
this point? But I will just say, and I don't think I've ever brought this up on this show, people who are into digital, and I'm not knocking that. I realize there's pros and cons. It's
Mhm.
convenient, right? But they'll often say, at least with digital, the games are saved. Old discs can, be damaged, cartridges can rot, etc. Um, kind of the point I made last week about playing old systems. I mean,
Mhm.
I can play Atari cards from before I was alive that still run fine. If you're caring for your stuff, you don't have to worry about losing it.
Yeah.
Obviously, if you take physical games and leave them out, in a 90-degree room, in a sunbeam or something, they're going to get damaged. You
Yeah.
spill a liquid in your system, but yeah, take care of them; they'll be fine. So just don't
Yeah.
don't fear losing them. I just hate to hear that. You see, talk about clickbait headlines. People will be like, "Your games are slowly rotting away." It's like, just play and have fun, and don't live in fear.
Yeah, that's a really good point. Yeah. The older games still, as long as they're looked after, they work, right? So, yeah.
Which
All the
begs
games.
how Kirk's and television games are doing down in his basement.
That's I was about to ask about the basement.
The cartridges themselves are doing great. It's those pesky keypads, the circuit
Oh,
matrices and the keypads that make them impossible to play.
Yeah. But the games
yeah.
themselves are fine.
Oh yeah, every
Yeah.
time I get a new system, I can put in a game and it's going to work. And if not, I can blow on it.
Yes. I love that. That's so funny.
Classic.
Yeah. Yeah.
They say it doesn't work, but I swear every now and again a game's not going to work, and you blow and put it in, and then it does. Coincidence, maybe, but I'm a
Mm.
believer.
I've had success with that too, like back in the day on the NES. I definitely blew into my cartridges. So it was just a thing. It's like, it doesn't work, blow, and then it works. Like,
And isn't that what CPR is?
yeah.
You're telling
Oh
me that
man.
doesn't work now?
CPR for
It's
cartridges.
it's so funny you bring up blowing in carts. It kind of ties in with what I was just saying. People will say, "Oh, you're going to corrode the contacts because well, yeah, if you're spitting into your cart, Sure, but if you're just doing a quick blow, I mean,
Mm.
again, don't live in fear of destroying your collection. Do what works.
Yes.
Also, I think it's safe to anticipate that 25 years from now, there are going to be new games on new systems that you enjoy, and maybe you don't need to be playing Snafu from 1979.
Oh my gosh, that's too funny. Yeah.
They re-released a director's cut version in 7K or whatever it is.
Yeah, I mean, look at what we're playing this week, honestly. I have so much content that I'm into right now. I don't even have time to play retro stuff, so
Look at our review
yeah.
queue. We
Yeah,
can't keep up with the games,
I
and
know.
we don't even ask for games. These are just
Yeah,
games getting sent to us.
it's
Yeah.
true.
Yeah. Yeah.
So true.
Exactly, exactly.
Come right for pure Nintendo.
Yes. We want you. Cool, thank you. I think it's a good and I love that because I said at the start, it's kind of a negative topic, but we kind of turn it into a positive the way we talk about it, so I really appreciate that, guys. Thank you. Listeners, let us know your thoughts if you want to express yourselves about game key cards. I think we all know generally they're not well received, but I love Trev's kind of not analogy, but the way you described it as being potentially a footnote, or is it the way of things in the future? We'll find out, of course, in the future. So,
Yeah. Oh, you know
yeah.
what? I don't think it was on the list, but
Hmm.
I saw earlier today, the day we're recording here, Friday,
Mm.
that the Cyberpunk, they confirmed that 75% of their sales were physical copies. So,
Wow.
for what
Okay.
that's worth, I mean, 3 out of 4 people who are playing that on Switch 2 are playing a physical edition.
Yeah. Interesting. That is such an interesting kind of not experiment, but it's like a case study almost. Because I considered buying it physically just because it was the only one. Why would I do that? I don't even want to play the game particularly. I'm sure it's great, but I have so much other stuff. But I really did consider it kind of to support them as well, which I know a lot of people did. I'm not saying 75% of people did that, but a portion of those would have just been like, yeah, I want to support this third party who's doing a physical release, a proper physical release. So that's kind of cool and interesting. So yeah, very interesting indeed. Let's move on to some more news. And this, I believe, might be a Kirk item, which
Oh, you
is,
can tell.
yeah, E's memoir, Revelations in, and I said E's right. Now I can't say this next part. Revelations in Calcutta?
Yeah, I don't know if it's Celceta or Celketa or
Yeah.
Celceta. Yeah, I'm not sure. But yeah, I like to bring up one announcement for a new game a week
I
that I
love
think
this.
other people aren't talking about.
Mhm.
And this week it's this one because so many of these games have come to the Switch recently. The
Mm.
new ones have been released and they're doing the back catalog. This one, it struck me as kind of amusing because it's coming. They said it's coming exclusively to the Switch, and I thought, why would they release this old game just for the Switch? But I think it's just this version is exclusive to the Switch because it originally came out in 2012 for the PlayStation Vita.
Right.
There
Mhm.
was a Windows version in 2015. There was a PS4 version in 2019. So it's been remade or redone a few times now, and this particular version will be Switch only. But who cares? Because it's another game in the series that is coming to us for the first time. And boy, there've been like 4 or 5 now
Mm.
coming to the Switch. So good. They tend to be fun games.
Yeah, I remember you talking about previous ones that have been really good, like, was it Nordic was one of them recently?
Yes, there was
Yeah.
there was Nordic. My favorite was, and it came to the Switch really early in its release. East 8, I think it was. Lacrimosa of Dana was my
Mhm.
favorite. I haven't enjoyed the one since then as much, but they're still fun if you're into the JRPGs as I have been documented to be.
Yeah, yes, definitely. And is it Switch 1 and 2 or just 2, this one? Is it clear? I can't tell from the
I
article.
think this one will be just Switch since it's a port of an old
Oh,
game. I
yeah,
can't
fair enough.
imagine they're doing too much to enhance it for the Switch too.
Yeah, okay, that makes sense. And where does this come in the timeline? Like, it's not got a number attached to it,
I
does it?
think I saw the timeline for this is all over the place because they all center around this fella named Adel Christen.
Yeah, the guy who
And
doesn't talk, right? Yeah.
yes, yeah, but it's kind of like Zelda in that you never know where in his life this particular adventure is going to fall.
Mhm.
So I think this one, even though it was before it in the timeline, I think I saw is either right before or right after East 10.
Oh, okay.
So
Mhm.
yeah,
Cool.
Is
you
the
you don't
timeline
need.
important? Like, if
Not really.
somebody's never played the series, where would you recommend they start on Switch?
Wherever you want, honestly.
Yeah.
Yeah, but if you like old school kind of games, you can pick up those. If you want the more modern adventures, you can do that. They never really tie in with each other. Sometimes characters overlap, but you never need to know what happened in a previous East game to know what's happening in the one you're playing.
That is cool. So it is pretty Zelda-ish in a way.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
I love that. Yeah, I do love that. I'd say I would like to try one, as I would like to try many, many other games. Let's just say it's on my wish list. So maybe, how many are on the Switch already? 2, 3? No, 4, you said, right?
Yeah, because there are at least 8, 9, and 10 for the more
Mhm.
modern kind of 3D games, and then if you go back to some of these old ports, there are I think 2 or 3 more.
Cool. Yeah. Excellent. Thank you, Kirk. Listeners, let us know if you are an Ease fan, and which ones you enjoy, and whether you're looking forward to this one coming to the Switch in early 2026. Let's talk about the sales that are on currently, and then we'll get to the games we're playing. Who has a highlight? So there's 8 Switch 2 games discounted in this list, which is kind of
Including
cool,
Cyberpunk.
including Cyberpunk. There you go. That's obviously digitally, right? Like this is the eShop sale.
Yes.
Yes. What's the price at the moment?
Let me pull that up real quickly. They had it by Switch 2. Because you can sort by Switch 2, which I thought was a nice feature. It
It is, yeah.
is, well, you know what? If you were upset about the price of games, they're no more common. It's $59.49. So, it's a standard price for a top tier game as opposed to the initial $69.99 that it was
Yeah.
before.
Okay. That's pretty cool. Yeah, that's nice. What else stands out to us in the list of current sales? When does this sale end? It's like actually they end all at different times, all these games. Is that correct? From what I'm
Yeah, it
seeing.
looks like
Yeah.
this. Let's see, six, but no, that's what was its release date. 16 days, 5 days. Yeah, they're kind of all over the place. There is a
Mm.
new game here for the Switch that I haven't even seen before called the Exit 8 Nintendo Switch 2 Edition.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I don't know
Um,
that one. Hmm. Is it
and it's
actually a
only
Switch?
it's only $4.19. So
And what is it usually?
it's normally $4.99, 16% off.
Oh, okay. There you go. There's a lot in there. Some new, some old. You've got your Pac-Man World Repack, Trev. That's 80% off.
Yeah, if
Yeah.
you're with the third one being redone, pick it
Mm.
up. Definitely
Yeah.
worth it.
Yeah.
I'm
Um,
thinking of, I mean, I'm broke, and especially if I get the Kirby DLC, but the Great Ace Attorney Chronicles,
mm.
60% off. That's probably, I play most of the series. That's one of the few I haven't. I think, Kirk, did you review that back in the day?
Yes, and I highly recommend it.
Mm.
Mm.
Yeah, that is a good one. There's a few that I've reviewed that are on the list, such as Cult of the Lamb. That seems to go on sale semi-regularly. And there is apparently there's some big new expansion coming to that next year. They dropped some trailer during the week, which I didn't put into the news, sorry. But yeah, there's not a lot of detail about what it is, but the trailer's super cool and cute, of course. I love Cult of the Lamb. But it's a paid DLC, so I think they call it an expansion. It's quite a big addition. I thought it was a new game at first. I thought, oh, they're making a new game based on Cult of the Lamb, like the same characters, but maybe a spin on that. But no, it's an expansion to the existing game with a whole lot of new stuff. So looking forward to hearing more about that one. But if you were interested in Cult of Lamb and hadn't already got it, it is currently on sale, and I can definitely recommend that game. It's super fun, crazy, and cute, and kind of dark but cute at the same time. Another one that I reviewed, which is on sale, is where is it? The Plucky Squire, which is 60% off. That's a nice one. Pepper Grinder, also another one I reviewed that's on sale.
Oh,
Anything
yeah, that
else?
was a pretty cool game.
Yeah. Anything else that stands out to you guys?
Well, the ones I'm buying because I I think they're the exact same three that I mentioned last time, and I didn't get around to buying them.
Yeah.
Well, I reviewed that No Sleep for Kaname Date from the Somnium files,
Hmm.
and I never played the two that came out before it. So both of those are on sale. The first one, AI the Somnium Files, is only $3.99 right now.
Wow.
down from $19.99, and Nirvana Initiative, which is the sequel to that, is $9.99, down from 40.
Well, that's
So I
good.
will pick up those two for sure. The other one I think I mentioned before is I completely forgot the name of it. Mary Skelter. There's the DRPG dungeon crawling game, and I've most of the way through the first one before the reviews took over, and I wasn't able to finish it. There's a
Mm,
second game in that pack that I haven't played, but the third game is very cheap right now too, so I may go ahead and get that now and then just park it until I'm able to complete the other two.
very cool. Oh, 13 Sentinels? That was one you've played before?
Oh yeah, boy, yes, definitely. If you haven't played 13 Sentinels,
Yeah,
I highly
it's
recommend that. Yep.
75% off. So that's a good one. Yeah, I do remember you talking about that one. Yeah, there's a lot there, so definitely check it out, and listeners, let us know what is catching your eye. I can see Red Dead Redemption's on sale, Civilization 7, Borderlands. There's a whole lot of stuff in there. Anything else you wanted to highlight before we move on? No?
If you navigate the sales, hopefully you're doing it.
Hmm.
If not on, the website, hopefully you're doing it on your Switch too. It's just so much quicker
Yeah,
to
yeah,
navigate.
yeah.
I can't stress that enough. Every week I'm shocked, like because I
Yeah.
still have my Switch One, and like
Hmm.
I'll go on and then I'll be like, oh wait, what am I doing? And then I'll
Yeah. Why am I doing this to myself?
yeah.
Totally agree. It's a much, much better experience on the Switch 2. Very cool. I don't have any that I'm going to pick up per se. I'm just looking, and I will continue to look, I think. Yes, I did pick up something during the week, though. So we'll get to that when we're talking about the games we're playing, which is now. So, games we're playing. First of all, I'm playing Kirby, but I won't go into that because I've already talked about it. So, Kirby and the Forgotten Land is I'm reviewing this game. Obviously, Nintendo's big game. Loving it so far. We'll give it a lot more love this week until my review is ready. So, let's
Oh,
move on
you know
to.
what that
Yeah.
means? You can't
Yeah.
listen to the. Don't listen to too many of the Kirby tracks then on the music app
Yeah.
because you
Okay.
want to wait and experience them in game first.
Yeah. Okay. That's a good tip. I haven't listened to the 91 that were added yet. I did listen to some of the ones that were previously added, which is cool because I kind of recognize them in the intro. Like I'm like, oh yeah, that's a nice one. Um, yeah. Sorry if you can hear my dog snoring, by the way. Uh, she's back. She hasn't made an appearance for a few weeks. But let's move straight into Kirk's first game, Shoot an Order. What would you like to tell us about
Uh,
that? This is the one
well,
you were playing a couple weeks ago, right?
yes, I've been
Yes.
playing this one for a while. It comes out September 5th.
Hmm.
The embargo lifted today, Friday, as we record this. So my review went live this afternoon. Go check it out. What a weird game this one is. So I'm going to enjoy it, right?
Yeah.
Uh, I mean, it's the thing about. Okay, here's the story. There are 160 days left until humanity ends. All right. But no one seems to care because we're in this place, which is kind of like it's the nation state of Shuten, and there's this religious group called the Shuten Order, which is kind of looking forward to the end, and all their followers are looking forward to the end. But then the founder of the Shuten Order is murdered, and you are that person. So, like, after the murder, these two angels come and say, hey, you got murdered. You got 3 days to solve the murder, figure out who did it. Well, actually, you accuse a person who did it. And I'll get to that in a minute. You accuse a person of doing it. And then you have 3 days to get that person to confess the crime. And then you kill that person and then you get to live.
Right.
So it's kind of like you have to find out who killed you and then kill your murderer before your murderer kills you, even though you've already been murdered.
Yeah.
All right, but that's not the weird part. The weird part is you have these 5 ministers of the shooting order, who are kind of like your underlings, your second in command, and one of them did it. So you accuse a person who did it, and you're right because you have the power of God. I think is what they refer to it as. Where if you decide this person who did it, then that's the person who did it. But you
Hmm.
still have to get that person to confess. And of course, like you're not going to be right in that. The game ends if you get the right person. You will play through the whole game accusing all 5 people. Then you go into a scenario with that character, and every one of them is different. One is kind of like an escape room game. One is a survival horror game. One is a visual novel. One is a romance. Um, so all 5 people that you play through is a different style game, but you can choose them in any order. They all reveal information that you need to figure out what's really going on, but you're getting it in a completely different order. So every person who plays this is going to have a different experience because you may know something right away that other people don't find out until the very end of the game. So it's a really weird experience. And I really liked it, except for one thing. All of the scenarios are quite long, and one of them I really did not like at all. And it just went on forever.
Oh dear.
And I guess that's the problem in creating a game that is like 5 completely different styles of game. If you're not into one of those styles, you're
Mm,
not going to enjoy that section, but you have to play through it.
yeah.
Um,
And if you chose that one
so
first, it's going to put you off, right?
no, I didn't, thankfully. And I mentioned that in the review. I chose it smack dab in the middle. If I'd gotten it first, it would have soured me on the whole game. But
Mm,
by the time I got to it, and I'm like, well, the first 2 were really fun, so maybe 4 and 5 are going to be okay. So I was annoyed, but I had no problem getting through it. If I'd gotten it 5th, then it would have killed, like, as you're racing towards the finish, I wouldn't have wanted to deal with that right before I get toward, to the end of the game.
yeah. So interesting. And so, without spoilers, obviously, did you find out who did it?
Oh, yeah, I played through to the end. I really like, they are so, it's another one of those games that are like, please do not reveal this, don't reveal this.
Yeah. Yeah.
The reviews, we have restrictions on what we're allowed to say. If we were doing video, they're like, you can't show any of this until like a month from now. Then
Wow.
you're going to be allowed to like release certain things. So I'm not going to give away anything in that regard. Um, but I will say that it's mostly kind of like an adventure puzzle / visual novel. So
Mm,
consider that as you're deciding whether to play the game. There are elements of other games in it, but at its core, that's kind of what it is.
yeah. Certainly creative, which is cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. Definitely stands out. I wonder, is it worthy of, like, will it be a memorable game that might come up in your top 2025 games? Or it's just like memorable and fun, but it's not like game of the year
I,
material.
I think it's there now. I wouldn't be surprised if it gets pushed out by
Okay.
some higher level
Okay.
games, but
It's
that
a
doesn't
contender.
mean, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, it'll be an honorable mention
Okay.
if
Well, that's
nothing
cool.
else.
It
Yeah.
looks like the reviews are a bit kind of on the map. I was looking at Metacritic. There's one as high as 100, and then
Wow.
there's one as low as 20. So,
Wow.
and then
So
there's a bunch in the middle. So,
so it's gonna
I
depend if you like those 5 types of games, I guess, right? Or the order you play them, maybe, like you said.
Yeah, I'm really not surprised because of the way the game is constructed, it's also very disjointed.
Mhm.
I appreciated that, but I would totally understand why some people would just have a really hard time getting into it.
Yeah. Yeah. Very interesting. Thank you, Kirk. So that one just came out, so I'm not sure if listeners will have had a chance to play it, but do let us know if you have an experience with Shoot and Order yet, or if you're interested in picking it up based on
It
Kirk's.
comes out September 5th. It's
Oh, it's
not
not out
out
yet.
yet.
Sorry, it's out this
Yeah,
week.
reviews are up, but yeah,
Okay,
it's actually released next week.
cool. Release on Friday, that
This week.
would be.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. Nice. Okay. Well, thank you. Then no one will have played it yet. So let us know if you like the sound of it. What's the price of that one? Do you happen to?
$49.99.
Okay. Yeah. Cool. Trev, what's happening in the world of Pinball FX?
okay, yeah. So, this just came out yesterday at the time we're recording this. And Kirk got this code for me. I feel like we're the pinball reviewers on
You
the
are.
Pure Nintendo crew.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're up to volume 9, and it's a trio of tables, as is pretty much tradition. And there's Pinbot, Taxi, and Who Done It. And Pinbot is probably the table I'm most excited for because I played so many versions of that. Um, there was one back on the NES back in 1990, a digital recreation that was done by the folks at Rare, and
Oh.
Nintendo published it. It was a first party title. But of course, I've also played the real life table and a bunch of different digital versions on earlier Pinball FX collections or Pinball Arcade or Williams collections. So I I get a kick out of seeing like some of the subtle differences because they're all the same table, but of course the idea is with each newer version, it's going to get more like the real thing, right? In
Mm.
terms of how it responds and the physics and whatnot. So yeah, I might go down the rabbit hole for that game in particular, but I'm happy to get 3 new tables and even even though I'm experienced, I mean my high scores aren't showing it. I was playing it and I'm like, man, I suck. So I gotta I gotta shake off the rust. But um,
Because that's what
Pinbot in particular. I'm sorry.
oh, I was gonna say that's what pinball is kind of about, isn't it? Like, even the physical pinball arcade machines, you're trying to get the high score, right?
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
and it's a goal oriented pinball machine. You're trying to, at least for pinball, you're trying to get like across the Milky Way. Like it reminds me of simpler times back when like Pluto was a planet, because I think that's where you
Yes.
start.
Oh
And
my gosh, I was talking about that this week because 'cause it's been 19 years since Pluto was
wow,
kicked out of our planets. Well,
And
demoted.
deservedly so. Deservedly so. Tiny little.
I'm getting into some controversy here.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Um,
okay.
but yeah, playing games like this, it reminds me of simpler times when like speech in a pinball machine was like this huge thing, or
Mhm.
Yeah,
uh,
yeah.
different mechanics or gimmicks, for lack of a better word, that used to seem that seem kind of commonplace now, or like cutting edge. So, um, but I got to be balanced when I review this too. I can't just talk about Pinbot for 90% of the review because there's 2 other tables, and of
Yeah.
course, I'm still kind of looking at Pinball FX as a whole, right? Because for me, it was never as good as FX3, and still not. So I did what I did last time I reviewed one of these. I loaded it on Switch where I've been playing, and then I'm going to transfer it to Switch 2 and see
Mhm.
what jumps out at me, if anything. So
Yeah, okay. Yeah, I've not heard of Pinbot, but it's a 1986 pinball machine, apparently.
Mm. Yeah, it was a big one.
Hmm. Did you know
yeah,
there's IMDb for movies? There's an IPDB, Internet Pinball Machine Database.
That's
I do
wonderful.
know that.
I
Yeah.
applaud everybody who had anything to do with that.
Yeah.
They
That's
also did a fun sequel called Bride of Pinbot, which
really?
Yep.
Yeah?
I can't remember what collection that was in, but
Okay.
that's
And
probably
so
another one I'll post.
so this pack is called Williams Pin, is that right? Because that's the manufacturer, like, they made the original Pinbot?
The full title,
Yeah.
again, talking about long titles, is Pinball FX hyphen Williams Pinball Volume 9.
Okay.
But it's Pinball FX is like it's a free download, and then you get the DLC packs. That's how they get you. I
Mm.
think they give you a couple free tables. I don't remember what they are. And then, they get you because it's like, oh, I want this table and I want this table. And then they put them on sale. And next thing you know, you got a ton of them. So your own little pinball arcade in your Switch or Switch 2.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah,
Mm.
and it's set up so each table that you purchase is then like added to your arcade, so you can go into your arcade and pick which table you want to
Oh,
play.
okay. Like, do you walk through it or top down? How does that look?
You kind of spin
Oh.
like you're just looking, and you kind of move your cursor across the machines. Is that right, Trev? Honestly, I only have a couple right now.
I
So
don't know. I usually just go from the menu, but
okay, yeah, that's easy too. Yeah, all right, fair enough.
but then
Yeah.
again, like because with the views, they have views like where you can kind of see your table in the arcade, and then there's like different views that are more close up. So I probably go more for those. Maybe it's because I
Mm.
got middle aged eyes, but I probably don't appreciate
Cringy.
enough of the supplementary aesthetics.
Mm.
But of course, going through the menu, that's got its own cons too, because then you see all the machines that are grayed out, and you're like, "Oh, do I want to buy this?" And that's how they get you.
Yeah, exactly. Well, they'd have to do it somehow, wouldn't they? And that makes perfect sense. You're like, "Oh, that's got some cool." I don't know what detail you can see if it's grayed out, but can you tell what it is? Like, if it was something.
Yeah, well, you see
Yeah.
like the title, the icon, and of course you can go. There's a prompt to go right to the eShop and then
Mhm. Yeah.
check it out. So
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, they've gotta make it as easy as possible, so that makes sense. Cool. Well, we look forward to your thoughts on this latest collection of pinball games. All right. Well, let's talk about the next game, which is me. And I mentioned I downloaded a game during the week, which is not a new game, and that is Hollow Knight. And I kind of made this promise last week on the show that I would play Hollow Knight this week because the sequel is coming out. I believe it's this week, right? September the 4th. Silk Song. So in anticipation of that, and Kirk, you might not have been able to give your opinion on Hollow Knight. I don't think, because if it was last week, have you played Hollow Knight before?
I have not.
No, so none of us had. And
Yeah, I
yeah,
know our listeners recommended it. I saw in the
yes,
comments that they so
yeah,
but yeah, no, I never
yeah,
did.
we had some great comments last week. Actually, thank you to our listeners who did make comments. A lot of good thoughts there,
Oh,
and yeah, Hollow Knight was among them. So I did download it. I have been playing it, not a whole lot. I haven't had a lot of time to get into it. Plus, I've been playing other games such as Kirby, but I definitely have spent some time with it, like a couple of hours, and loving it so far. Don't know how I've missed it. Really, really enjoying it. Looking forward to Silk Song. What can I say about Hollow Knight that's not already been said? I think what stands out to me is that it looks so polished. And what I mean by that is not to take away from indie devs at all, because they are very capable of making a polished looking game. But I wouldn't have thought it was 3 people in Adelaide who made this. I don't know. It looks like a really big full game. It's got lovely music, lovely visuals. Basically, they've done a really good job. The gameplay is really fun too. Not every kind of platformer, and not that there's platforming elements obviously because it's a side-scrolling Metroidvania style. Not every platformer is made equally, and this one is really, really good. Like the combat is good. There's no kind of delay when you're kind of attacking. The jumps are very satisfying. Like it's not that it's easy,
mm,
but it's like there's no delay in your jumps, and you can jump relatively high. It just feels good to play, and it's kind of also hard, which is what you also want. You don't want it to be too easy. I don't think it's too hard, but there is definitely challenge in this game. There's lots to collect. There's a map that expands, of course, which any good Metroidvania would have. There's lots of exploring to do, so I'm really enjoying exploring, fighting these kind of big boss things, and collecting. I don't even know what you're collecting actually. There's these little. It's not money. I don't know. It's an insect world, so I'm guessing it's some kind of insect. Looks like a pine cone or something. I don't know what it is. Seeds, maybe. I don't know. Anyway, whatever you're collecting, you can then trade in and buy, upgrades, or they're not badges. What are they? Charms. You can buy charms, and you can, attribute those to yourself. Yeah, there's a lot to it. I really enjoy it. I'm really enjoying it. Sorry. So that's my update on Hollow Knight, as promised. I'll continue. Excuse me. I will continue with it amongst other games. I am looking forward to seeing the sequel and how that delivers, I guess, upgraded features or story. I'm not sure what we can expect with Silk Song, but it will be very interesting to see what comes next, considering it's been such a long gap between titles. So yeah,
I'm
that's
glad one of us got it because
hmm.
yeah, I saw I forget which um, fan recommended it in the comments, but I saw that and then I saw you had it on the list. And I'm like, good, at least
Yeah,
Jemma took him
yeah.
up on it.
It was
But
kind of funny because Hayden, my son, he's 12. He knows a lot about games, right? We all do. Okay, we know what's coming, and because he's a more of a PC player, I guess, at this point. Playing the likes of Roblox and Minecraft in particular, but getting into Steam, and there was a sale, and Hollow Knight was actually on sale on Steam, so we've got that for him as well, even though I already have it on the Switch. So we're both playing it together last night, which I found really fun. Like he's sitting there on his laptop playing Hollow Knight, and I'm playing it on the TV on the Switch, and we're talking about what we're doing. And he was a bit further than I was. So I'm like, "What do I do here? What's this boss? How do I beat this boss?" He's like, "Oh, that's the one that does this." I'm like, "Okay, cool, thank you." So it was just a fun way to play it. I think we've done that before. We've been playing the same game, but not concurrently, like not on the same system, separate instances of the same game, and really having fun talking about it while we're playing. So he's a big fan. I'm a big fan. I think, like you said, Trev, last week, I think we reviewed it. Someone on our team reviewed it and gave it a healthy score of 9 or something like that. So
yeah,
yeah, I'd say it's a worthy score. Yeah.
and I think you made a good point too about because I haven't played it, but just like watching the trailer,
Mm.
one of my first thoughts was this looks really fluid. And then you were
Oh,
talking about
yeah.
like the controls and jumping and movement. That's a big
Mm.
thing for me in platformers, even more
Yeah.
than
Yeah, yeah.
visuals is,
Oh,
is it
yeah.
move fluid? Do I feel like it's very responsive?
Oh, yeah. Perfect words, actually, fluid and responsive. Yes, absolutely. And I think as a music aficionado, you'd appreciate the sound quality as well. There's these really nice piano-based tunes in the background. Yeah, really, really good soundtrack there. So, yeah, looking forward to delving more into that one and seeing how Silksong can, up the ante with that one.
Do you feel like you play it differently, Gemma, when you're playing just for fun versus like playing for a review?
I mean, a little. Yeah, I don't feel the rush, as in this that the need to rush through it as much. I can take my time more, of course. I try not to rush with review games, but there is that time sensitivity where you're trying to get through it because you want to finish it so you can write it up, right? Um, yeah, I feel like I can take my time. I'm sort of going back and forth. Like there's a shop that you can visit to buy things, like I said, and I'm trying to do that more. Like I probably would only buy the essentials maybe in a review or what I could afford, whereas I'm like actually trying to collect enough to buy something, and then I'll kind of want to just buy everything. So yeah. Yeah, I think so. I think there is a bit of a difference there. Do you think that's the case when you play for fun?
Oh,
Mm.
absolutely. I yeah, I feel sometimes like with review games, maybe I sell them short just because
Mm.
you have to take in multiple factors.
Yeah, totally.
But I mean, the biggest compliment I can give a review game is if I go back and play it again, like
Mm.
down the
Mhm.
line after I'm done with the review. That's how I know you get
Yeah.
a real winner. So
Oh, absolutely. And that's probably something I don't do enough of, not for review games, but also for review games. But if I buy a game like Hollow Knight, I'm guilty of playing it and then not going back to it just because I'm constantly reviewing stuff and I
yeah,
want
it's
to go
tough.
back. I want to go back and play it, but because it's for fun, I don't have that need to, if that makes sense.
Oh, it does.
So,
That's like why I didn't go back to play Kirby since
yeah.
I beat it
Yeah.
a few years ago.
So, and I'm trying to do more of that. Like I'm trying to, like also on our list, which we might not have time, but I also played a few demos this week, including the discounty demo. Like that's just one I didn't have to play, obviously, but I just wanted to. A friend recommended it. I think
Wait, aren't demos free? This
they're
one's at a
free.
discount?
Yes. I know. It's so funny. My friend said, "Have you played discounty?" And I'm like, "What's that? What are you saying right now? Discounty?" I can't believe I hadn't heard of this. And I think we're reviewing this one, Kirk. I think Sophie might be reviewing this one.
Yep.
Discounty. Yeah. The demo is awesome. I loved it. I finished the demo, and like I said in a few weeks ago, I think when I finish a demo, I feel really accomplished, even though it's just a short, because I don't often get to finish games. Like that's just not like Hollow Knight. I don't know if I'll get to finish this. Honestly, I'll try. I'll play it, but like I said, I have trouble revisiting games I don't have to revisit, even if I really enjoy it. Like Trials of Mana, I haven't finished that. I haven't gone back. The other one, what's the RPG? Sea of Stars, like those kinds of things. Sitting there waiting to be played, just haven't got to them. So I feel a demo is nice and short and sweet, and I finish it. I feel a sense of accomplishment. But Discounty is great. Yeah, definitely go play that demo. We're kind of running out of time a bit, so I might not get time to talk about that this week. But yeah, that's my Hollow Knight adventure. But that's a really good question, Trev. Thank you. Let's move on to Kirk again. And you're playing something called Space Adventure Cobra? What's that?
Yeah. And this isn't typically the type of game I play. It's a platformer, and I've mentioned that I'm just really not that good at these games.
Mhm.
But this one is based, it comes from Microids. It's a new game that's based on a manga from 1978, I think it was published,
Wow.
called Cobra. And then it became an anime in the early 80s.
Ah.
And there, I believe it was called Space Cobra. And the thing that really sold me on this game as I'm looking at it is they actually took the animation from the anime. I mean, they took scenes from the anime and they're in the game. So you're like watching it, and then it goes into a level based on that scene from the anime, and you play through it, and then it kind of like bookends with the scene again. So it's like
Hmm.
actually putting you in the anime in a way I haven't seen before. I've seen, they do this. There are a lot of games based on anime. Um, But this one is more like we really loved watching this show, so we're making this game, as
Yeah.
opposed to, well, here's a property and we want to make more money off this property, so we're going to do it. Not that there's anything wrong with that. We get great games that way, quite often.
Mm.
This isn't a show that I had ever heard of or watched before. It's from a time when I was watching shows like well, in the U.S. it was Star Blazer, Space Battleship Yamato, which is one of my favorites. They had Gotcha Man at the time, so I know this era of anime, and was comfortable like hopping right into that.
This dude, he
But
looks really familiar to me. I don't think I've seen it, but I definitely have seen this guy with the red suit, the blonde hair, and the hand cannon, whatever is going on there.
yeah, and he he has an interesting story too, because he's kind of like a space pirate who got himself in some trouble with what was it called, the Space Pirate Guild, the Space Pirate Guild. So he changed the way he looks completely and erased all of his memories so he couldn't
Hmm.
be caught. Um,
Okay.
but eventually got his memories back, and he has like his left hand becomes what or his left arm, I should say, becomes a psycho gun. So he's got this psycho gun, like the whole arm becomes the gun. Um, so he's got some cool weapons too. And in the game, like when you use the psycho gun, you're able to control the trajectory of your bullets. I don't think they're bullets, but so like the game stops and you could draw out the path that it's going, so you can use it to like shoot people around corners or unlock various things. It's
Mm,
got a lot of cool elements like that. So it's fun to play. It's a good game, very faithfully done to the anime and to the genre. But it's also really difficult. Like even on and I'm not embarrassed to say I put it on the easy setting because, as I've said, I'm not good at these games.
mm,
And that's fine for the combat. That helped me get through it. But there are a lot of platforming elements where if you miss, you're in the lava and you're dead. So you're using grappling hooks. You're doing like the double jumps and everything. So it's hard to get through if you're not into this genre. So I'd say if you're a fan of the anime but aren't good at platformers, don't jump in just because of that. It's more for platformers, but
mm.
also if you're a fan of the anime, I think that could carry you through and force you to get to the point where you're good enough to get done what you got to do. And there's a 2-player mode, so hop on and play with somebody else.
Cool. I love the sound of that. Yeah, if you're a fan of the original series or manga, then that's and platforming, I guess, a little bit there as well. But imagine if you were a fan and this came out like after 40 odd years, whatever it is, 50,
Yeah.
40, 50. Yeah, that's crazy. That's so cool. Yeah.
Yeah, if they had done this for Space Battleship Yamato or Cowboy Bebop or even Spectre Man or anything I watched, back in this era,
Yeah.
yeah, I'd be all over it regardless of the genre.
Yeah, there you go. So yeah, fans should eat this up, hopefully. Yeah, that's really
Mhm.
cool. Is it already out, this one, or coming out?
Yes, yeah,
Yes.
this one's out
Okay.
and it's available for $40 in the eShop.
Very nice. Thank you, Kirk. Trev, you're playing the new Shantae game, Shantae Advance.
Yes,
I'm very interested to hear about this one.
I am, and it's funny. New Shantae game, the way it's promoted is like this lost Shantae game, this
Mm,
forgotten sequel from the Game Boy Advance, right?
yeah.
It's Shantae Advance, and you can actually when you play it, you can play what they call modern or 2004 version, which is presumably how you would have played it had this been out back in the day. Not very distinct differences from what I could tell. I picked the classic mode first because I guess that's just the sort of guy I am. And you could see, certain things have been updated, like character models and the cutscenes or whatnot, but it still has that Shantae look, which is fine. I mean, I like the GBA style.
Mm,
So,
yeah.
um, but I was a little bit confused in the way it's marketed. I guess maybe fans would probably know better. Um, and I say that because this is probably only the second Shantae game I've ever played. I played
Right.
one on the DS, and I've never really gotten into the series, even though I'm a Way Forward fan.
Mm,
Go figure. It's just one of those that, for one reason or another, just never got into. But it's fun. I'm only a little bit into it. Funnily enough, Kirk was talking about the Space Cobra game or whatever being hard. Shantae seems pretty easy to start. I feel like every enemy I hit's giving me a heart, but
Right.
I'm hoping that's just because I'm at the very early stages and that
Mm.
it progresses. I don't think there's any difficulty settings from what I saw. But of course, if they're keeping it faithful to that style, maybe difficulty settings weren't as common 20 plus years ago. I don't know.
Yeah,
Um,
true. I don't know because I'm like I would say I'm a Shantae fan. I've only played a couple of games and not the older ones either, more or less the Switch games. I think I reviewed Half Genie Hero maybe, and maybe one other
oh,
one.
yeah.
Do you know about the history? Do you know Shantae Advance? Was that like the first Shantae game?
No, I think Shantae first came out on Game Boy Color,
Ah, okay.
which
Hmm.
would have been a couple 2 3 years before
Yeah,
this
okay.
one would have came out. I feel weird talking about this one like it's not an old game, but it is. But
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
you know, I guess the marketing trick will be effective for fans
Mm.
of the series or those who know the series pretty well. Um, but yeah, the platforming seems fun. Shantae, I mean, it looks great as expected, and Shantae's well animated. Um, they are kind of the female characters are scantily clothed,
Yeah.
so it's cartoony, but still
Mm.
just keep that in mind. But it's cool. She can do little like genie dances or whatever and draw like,
Yeah.
gems into her. I don't know if that's a series thing or if that's something unique to this entry.
Ah.
But I find myself like I break a vase and jewels scatter, and then I hit a button and she does her little wiggle, and it's like they suck the jewels into her. So
Mm.
I think that's fun. There's a good variety of little dances she can do. Um,
Yeah.
but sort of to bookend the episode, there is one negative
Mhm.
that I got to mention is they advertise this battle mode, and I'm like, ooh, that sounds like a lot of fun. And I went to get in it, and it's only local multiplayer.
Oh.
There's no online, which, to be fair, I didn't necessarily expect online. So I'm like, okay, but you can't even challenge the CPU.
Oh, really?
And I'm like, what? Because I think back to like, I probably should have looked up the name. Oh, Shovel Knight Showdown. It's
Mhm.
a little like mini game within Shovel Knight, or it's actually a standalone release too. And that one you can challenge the CPU or do local multiplayer. And I had a blast with that game. So I went into this mode and I'm like, way forward, what are you doing? Because this is, I mean, it's 24.99. It's not a full price game, but it's also not a budget game.
Mm. Mhm.
And I was just so disappointed with that. And I can't understand. Because, I mean, even if they're trying to stick to that GBA sort of mentality, I feel like they could have had some kind of mode where you can just challenge the CPU.
Yeah.
I really do. So I know it's a side element of the game and it's not the main tail, but it bugs me, and I'm guessing it might bug me more than most. But I just wanted to mention it.
Mm. Interesting. Yeah. So is this a review game for you?
Yes,
Yeah, okay.
I will be reviewing it. It's the first Shantae game I'll have ever reviewed.
Right. Well, that's kinda cool and exciting. And it certainly does look nice, like you said. The graphics are very colorful, just like the original one was. I think it was.
Oh yeah, it's a gorgeous looking game, and
Yeah.
and I love that aesthetic anyway. So
Yeah. Yeah, yeah. I'm sure it'll be
I'm
popular
not
with
surprised that it looks
fans.
good and
Mm.
sounds good and plays good. So
Just has that
it's got
extra, yeah, mode that doesn't really do much, so
yeah, and it
yeah.
feels a little easy, but again, I'm only a couple levels in, so I'm sure it's gonna really, ratchet it up
Mm.
as things go on.
I wonder how how they've said this is like 20 years in the making, how much of it was prepared already and what they've had to do to get this one ready for release. It's a Switch 1 game, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's the thing. I feel in a way maybe I should have saved this for somebody who knows the series better, but by the same token, I mean these games should be able to stand on their own.
Yeah,
So, and
I think so.
strictly as a platformer, I'm sure it will. Like, it is a little slow to start because there's a lot of like talking, and I'm like, okay, I don't really care about this story stuff. I'm sorry to say that. I'm sure some people love it. I want to be platforming. I want to jump and
Mm,
attack and collect. So
I think that's
Um,
pretty standard with Shantae's games from memory, and I've only played, like I said, kind of 2.
yeah.
I think I do recall a bit of story, and it looks like that trick where she dances, because that did not sound familiar to me. That's new for this game. So
Okay.
dancing draws items closer to you. Yeah, that's a new feature, which is interesting.
Yeah.
Sounds kind of cool. But yeah, it should have some nice boss battles for you, I guess. There's usually a few puzzles to solve and things like that that go along with the platforming. So hopefully it's a fun journey for you, your first
Yeah.
review of
I'm
Shantae.
sure it'll be solid, and I
Yeah.
may, because I know we've covered a lot of Shantae games at Pure Nintendo, and we
Yeah.
even had her on a cover back for
Yes, we did. Yeah.
so I'll probably look at some of our older reviews from
Mm.
various staffers just to kind of get a feel for what people like look for in these type of games. Because I'm basically going in blind. I only played the one DS game and I never actually beat it. Which probably speaks to the challenge. Maybe it does get hard. Maybe that's why I didn't beat it. I don't remember.
Yeah, exactly. Kirk, do you have any experience with Shantae at all?
I don't. In fact, as you were talking about it, I went through our previous reviews of the games just to make sure,
Yeah.
because I'm certainly familiar with the character by now.
Mm.
Maybe because I've seen so many press releases for the various releases over the years. But no, it doesn't look like I've ever played one.
Yeah. Looks like I
I
reviewed
feel like I
2.
have to. Like now, it's an pure Nintendo rite of
Yeah.
passage. Every
Yeah.
writer has to at least take one Shantae game.
Yes, definitely. And it looks
You
like
reviewed two, Jimmy?
I've reviewed 2, yes, which I
Oh,
both
okay.
gave good scores. Shantae and the Pirate's Curse and
That might have
Shantae
was
and
that the DS one? That might have been the one I did. I played.
that was the Switch, but yeah, that
Oh,
was a Switch. And then Half Genie Hero, the Ultimate Edition. So I think that was a revamped version of an
the
older
Wii
game.
U game, I think.
Yeah. Yeah, and that was a while ago, 2018, and both in 2018 actually. So
Oh wow.
had
If listeners have favorite Shantae games, you should let us know what we should be looking for.
Yeah, absolutely. Let us know your favorite in the series. I don't even know how many there are. There's quite a few though, so
I feel
interesting.
like there's a lot, and then a lot of like remasters or uh, yeah. But it's
Exactly.
good it survived because it was a late release on Game Boy Color. Like I think it
Right.
came out very late in the system's life. So
Yeah. I think partly it's to do with the characters. They're quite colorful and, she's got a lot of personality as well. Um, Sometimes she changes costumes. I don't know if that's in every game, but that's a thing.
oh
And
yeah, that's a good point actually.
yeah.
That's one of the differences with in this one at least, the modern mode versus the classic mode. Even though they tend to look alike, you can start by picking different costumes.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Um, and they're all, they're all they're all pretty revealing,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
presumably they have different effects on some power-ups that I haven't gotten yet. So I'll be
Mm.
Well, she is
interested
in the
to see.
desert, right? I mean, she's in a very hot climate, so
Yeah. And she's wearing pants usually, isn't it? She's just a
yeah.
top that's
Yeah,
really but
there's
yeah,
just a lot of midriff and
yeah, yeah. Yeah, that's
some upper
true.
boobage,
It's like
but
a crop top. Mm,
yeah,
cool.
it's I mean, guys are still the primary audience for games, I guess. I don't know. Or were back in 2004 when this game would have been released.
Yeah. Yeah,
So,
probably. Yes. Cool. Thank you, Trev. We look forward to your full thoughts on Shantae Advance Rescue Revolution. That's out now, isn't it? So listeners
yeah,
that
it
have
is. That
yeah.
came out about I don't know, a week ago maybe at the time of this recording.
Yeah, I've definitely seen them promoting it, like you said, with the fact that it's, this long lost game or whatever. So I think, like you said, that will appeal to fans and probably they'll pick up a lot of
Yeah.
downloads that way if you're a fan
And it's
who
Way
yeah.
Forward, even if you don't know Shantae that well. I mean, I like Way Forward, so that
Yeah.
alone is enough for me.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, we've got a pretty good long-standing relationship with them, I think. They've been developing games a long time and we like what they do. So yes. Excellent. Thank you, Trev. Well, I'll hold over my next 2 until next week since we've gone over time. We had a lot to talk about this week. We had a lot of games, and I love that. Like I said, I've been playing a lot, trying to focus on fun as well as review games, just because why not, right? Like there's
You
this,
gotta
yeah, you got to. But let us know what you're playing this week, listeners. Let us know your favorite games or any of your thoughts on what we've discussed today. Do either of you have any final thoughts before we close things off for the week?
Nope.
Nope.
Just
Easy.
keep the comments coming. I appreciate
Yeah.
them. I already picked out a couple for our that I'm going to try to put in our next issue. So
Yeah, we got a response on the retro stuff, so thank you. And yeah, as Trev said, keep them coming. We love hearing from everybody, all our listeners. So please do let us know your thoughts.
and to the
Um,
commenter who wanted to know what my type of games are,
yeah,
you can check out the website. I got 13 years of reviews and check out past issues of the past issues of the podcast.
yeah,
It's all there.
it's yeah. I'd say you have a wide variety of games that you do like. So yeah.
Yeah. I leave the demon games for Kirk, but pretty much anything else.
Yeah, yeah. The one
Turn-based demon games. Let's be specific here.
with plenty of drama.
If I have to run and jump over them while attacking, I'm not going to do any good.
Yeah. Well, thank you both very much for joining me this week. Thank you, listeners. If you'd like to follow us on social media, you can do so over on Blue Sky. Head on over there and see what we're up to. If you would like to grab yourself a copy of the Pure Nintendo magazine, you can head on over to patreon.com/Pure Nintendo and support us over there. Our current issue is being printed at the moment. Is it too late for people to join at this point for this current issue? I think they could probably still squeeze it in, maybe. I don't know. It'd be tight.
Yeah, it depends.
It'd be tight.
Yeah, it'll be tight. It depends on how many over our subscription base we ordered this time.
Yeah, that's it. But yeah, get on board, and if you miss out this time, we'll put you on the list for the next one as well. So
Join
thank you.
now anyway, because we don't charge you till
Yeah,
it ships.
exactly.
So even if you missed out, you're locked in for next one.
Exactly. Thank you. Good point, Trev. Thank you both. Thank you, listeners. And until next week, game on, everybody. Bye.
So long.